Yes! We hit the limiter! That's perfect! Alright, welcome back. We are still in the process of getting the Yuminashi 28mm throttle body running and on the bike. So where I left it last time, it was night and I'd only just gotten to the point where I could turn the key. Now, the problem is that this throttle body came with a manual idle adjusting control valve. So manual idle control valve. The problem is I can't get in there to adjust the knob, and I certainly can't get in there to lock it off so it doesn't vibrate out and mess with the idle while I'm riding. So what I need to do today is basically pull it all out again. I'm not going to remove the tank this time because I don't need to remove the manifold. I just need to remove the throttle body. But what I thought first is I have an aftermarket tachometer, which, you know, one of the ones where you just wind the coil around. I'm fucking this up. Basically, I need to set the idle properly. I'm going to plug into the OBD2 and read the engine RPM. I'm going to try and eyeball it. And we're going to try and get this tachometer running accurately. And I thought I could do a cold start with the new throttle body just to see where it's sitting now. And if it's within, you know, 100 or 200 RPM of spec, I'll leave it at that and I'll just lock it off and hope. Otherwise, I need to make maybe a half turn adjustment, plug it all back in again and hope. So there's a bit of backwards and forwards today, but we're going to try and get that little tacho reading, just a little battery operated one, reading accurately so I have a better idea of what's going on with the engine. So this tach/hour meter is the kind that just wraps around the spark plug wire. Now it's cable tied off at the bottom and I've just got it rubber banded around the top as I may need to add a few extra coils. But we've got my OBD2 scanner plugged in and hopefully I'll be able to get a consistent reading. But first we're going to set this up for a cold start. Here we go. Alright, so firstly, going off here, the engine is running about 1000 RPM too high, but my hour meter is, I might need to figure out how to increase the frequency of it. But it's only running about 100 RPM out, which is, that's pretty good really. Alright, so I'm pretty happy, let me turn this off. I'm pretty happy with the accuracy of that little tachometer, at least for the purposes of setting an idle. It is idling about 1000 RPM too high. I can't get into that valve because it's right behind the battery box there. So I'm going to pull the airbox out today because I've got to do some finishing touches on that. Hopefully, I might, with the airbox out, I might be able to get in there and actually rotate that valve. So I won't know until I crack into it. So with the airbox out, just for convenience, now I still haven't reconnected the throttle cables, but I adjusted the idle control valve and locked it off, and I eyeballed it. That's only 100 out of spec, and my little tachometer here still seems to be relatively accurate. Okay, now I just need to go ahead and reattached the throttle cables before I forget. And then we're going to continue to modify that airbox once I'm done. Right, so the aim of the game today is to remove this pipe, and unfortunately it doesn't just have Phillips head screws, it's got these press studs which I'm just going to try and drill out. And then this inner pipe, well, there's no silicone up here, I only did the outside, so this should just pull out of that new pipe. So I just drilled that out with a 5mm bit. As you can see, it's already loose. Those 2 points were the only thing holding it on. And well, I'm not going to measure this because it's irrelevant, but as big as it looks on the inside of the box, by the time it gets down, it is quite restrictive again. So what we have, hopefully I can show you here, there we go, is that 38mm pipe. Whoopsies. That 38mm pipe is now open to the box, so it should have no trouble drawing air. All I really need to do now is just make sure that there's no more like bits of plastic in there. So just nothing fancy. I'm just going to wipe it out with a tissue because it's only really the big chunks that I'm worried about. So if you look right in here, you can see a gap in the silicone, which is probably a good thing that I pulled it off today to have a look. And the gap is in here where I knew that I would have trouble sealing it. So luckily I've got more silicone, so I'm just going to go ahead now and I might even put some on the inside there as well as the outside just to try and cover my bases. As far as I can see, the silicone's cured in a decent bead. As far as I can tell, that's the only gap. So I'm going to fix that up now off camera, and then I'm going to go ahead and reassemble all this on the bike. Alrighty, airbox is all finally back in, actually secure for once. We're going to turn this back on, let it idle and warm up while I just go about buttoning the rest of the bike back up, which should only take about 5 minutes. Alright, the bike is completely back together, seat and all. It probably won't show up on camera, even with this stock exhaust. There is a deeper note coming out. So I'm not sure how accurate this is going to be, but so long as it's within about 200 RPM, I'm happy. I don't think it's updating very fast, so I'm going to have to reread the manual and see how I can adjust that, but now I've really just got to gear up and take this thing down to get a tank of fuel because it's running on fumes right now. I'm going to stop this here, and the next footage will be on the GoPro. But the bike is ready to be ridden.
Are we going to hit limiter? Yes! We hit the limiter! That's perfect!